And welcome to Excel tutorial of student management system saved on multiple worksheet. This is actually at a request of one of my viewers out there who would like to know how to save from UserForm straight onto multiple Excel worksheets. So I just made this up student management system. So let me show you guys the Excel worksheet itself. You see, all of this data, this is all about the student, and right here is about the tutor and so on, the course information, duration, and so on. And all the information we have here is all about the student. The component that I'm using right here is called page, but on some other application I think you guys will see it as a tab. Okay, I'm going to show you the workbook. That's the workbook right there. I already have some other students' details in there. And if I come right here now and click on, let's click on transfer data. There we go. That is the student data. And in here, that's the tutor's information or course information. I'm going to close this and let's open up the workbook. And right here is the workbook. That's the student information. And on the sheet 2 is the course information right there. Okay, so let's add another detail. So I'm going to go straight into developer tab. And let's add more information about the student in there. So I'm going to just enter the student details and kind of like speed it up. Those are the information of Ali Suleiman. So that's his mobile number there. Okay, and that's the next of kin mobile number. And right here, let's go to the tutor's details. Let's say the tutor's name is Felix. This out, and the course is on. Let's call that maybe information systems, and that is the course code here, and duration, let's make that 48 months, which is approximately 4 years, and that's it. Okay, so all I then need to do is to transfer the data straight onto these worksheets. So transfer, that's it. The data is right there. That is the data for the tutor, and for the students, if I close this, you guys should be able to see that data as well for the student. So I'm going to close it, and let's come right here. Those are the details of Ali Suleiman. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Excel development environment, and we'll put another one together, and you'll see how you can save on multiple worksheets. So let's do that now, guys. And welcome back to Excel of how to save on multiple worksheets. First of all, I'm going to show you this guy's comment. And right here, that's the comment. I've actually hidden his name. So I believe what it's saying is, can you tell me code if we use the user form for multiple worksheet in workbook? So he wants to know the codes that he can use. So I'm going to close this my page, and let's close this Python. We don't need that. And right here, that is the workbook I intend to use. Okay, I'm going to create another sheet there. I only have one sheet, as you guys can see. So let's just click on plus. And I'm not going to bother giving them a name. So I'm just going to leave it as sheet 1 and worksheet 2. Before I go any further, I'm going to save it right away. Let's save as. And I'm going to be saving my project right in this folder. I'm going to give it a name. Let's just call it multiple sheet or multi-sheet. Right. And file type is going to be saved as Excel macro enable workbook. Click on, make sure that is selected. Save as type Excel macro enable workbook and click on save. There we go. Now the next I'm going to do is, for this cell I'm going to just call the student ID, and the next one is going to be first name followed by surname, address. In total I'm going to be having 15 records, so I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys as soon as I'm done. And that's the record, that's the student's details there, the fields for the students. So I'm going to kind of like select it all, and let's come in here and just all the border, make it a solid border. And there I'm just going to make that bold, maybe increase the font size a little bit so that you guys can see it. Alright, and I'm going to repeat the same thing for the tutor or the course code. And now let's click on the second sheet there. So as you guys can see, I've entered the details of the student on sheet number 2. So sheet number 1, that's going to be for the course details, and this is about 14 bold, so I'm going to make this one 14 bold as well. Select it all and just change that to 14 bold. And all border, all borders, and in here I'm going to select enter tutor. The next one is going to be course title. We only have 5 fields in there anyway. Then we have course code, right, and we're gonna have, the next one is going to be year, and finally that's going to be duration of the course. Right. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm now going to go straight into developer tab there, or developer menu. Click on the developer menu and let's go straight into Visual Basic. And let's come straight here. You see where we have insert user form, and the user form, I'm going to change some data in there. The form is going to have the height, I'm going to make that approximately 700, and the width, I'm going to make that 1040. There we go. Now let's change the background color. You don't have to do that, but I just want to do it. My background color, I'm going to come in here, come to the palette and just select that. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this frame, just drag it that much, and I'm going to get rid of this text on the frame. There we go. And change the color to the back color. I'm going to change that to green there. I'm going to copy this frame across. Hold on to your control, click and drag. That's one there and another one here. There. Select all of this frame and just realign it properly. Alright, I'm going to just adjust the frame how I want. Okay, that's it. And for the middle frame, I'm now going to grab, see, multi-page. Click on the multi-page and just drag it in there. And for the other one up there, I'm going to add a label. And let's change the size the font size, I'm going to change the font size to something a little bit readable, maybe about 28. Let's take it from there, and let's change the font color as well to here. And in there, I'm going to change the font on it. Just going to enter student management system, saved on multiple workbook or worksheets. All right, there. So that's what I'm going to call that, and let me just make that bold anyway. Come in here, make that bold, drag it all the way. Right. Okay, that's that taken care of. Then the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to add a label here. I'm going to change the size of that very label to about, let's make that bold, about 24. And I also need a text box. So just copy it across. That's 2, 4, and 1 here. Right. Then I need 2 up here. And another. I need 3 labels here. And 1 here. There. Then I'm going to need 5 on the other side. So copy all of this and take it to the other side here, right here. We move this out of the way. And here I need some combo box here. And then about 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Alright, so we can get rid of those. Now, on the other side, I'm going to copy that. I need as follows, paste those that I've just copied, and I also need, this is going to be for my tutor. I'm going to get rid of these 2 where I need those. Yeah, I need all of these, 2 here and 2 here as well. There. So if I run my program, before I run it, let's do one thing. You see this very one? We need another frame right inside it. So I'm going to come in and drag it a little bit. Grab a tool and I'm going to just draw a frame inside it. Change the color of that very frame. Get rid of that. Change the color of that very frame to something light. There. And I need 4 buttons in there. And move this all the way. I need 4 buttons. And change the color of that very button to green, the back color. And let's just copy it across. That's 2. And 4. All copied. Now, if I run my system, this is how it's looking now. So what I want to do now is just to rename everything and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, that is it, and this is how it's all looking now. Okay, but there's one thing I need to give this worksheet. I need to give them all a name. So let's select this one. You see the one with the student, this very one. So right here, the caption, I'm going to change that to student. And the second one, I'm going to come down here and let's change that to tutor. There we go. Right. Now, each of these, they all have a name now. That's for student, for tutor. That's course title, course code, duration, year. And if we go to the student as well, they all have a name. can see their name in there. Alright, so now let's start work with some coding and get those out of the way. Double click on the form, and right there, right inside the form, the first thing I'd like to do is let's come into Form Initialize. See, on the Form Initialize itself, the first thing I'd like to do is every single combo box I would like to populate them. So the first one that I'm going to take care of is going to be proof of ID. So let's say proof dot add item, and the very first item is going to be nothing. So the second item, let's copy that. We'll make that above, maybe add 4 more. There we go. So this one is going to be, let's say, passport, student ID, and here we have maybe driving license, and here we have a pilot license there. That's for the student details. The next one, so this is for the student's proof of ID there. Okay, there's nothing in the others. So the next one is going to be, let's go for CMB degree dot add. The first one will be nothing, and the degree, let's go for, alright, maybe that will do. And in here, the very first one, I'm going to make that, let's go for BSc, MSc, let's go for PGCE, and here let's go for PhD. There. So the next one is going to be for the student loan and so on. So let's come down here. That would be method of payment anyway. So let's say method of payment, and that's going to be add new. That should be a B dot. So the method of payment can always be student loan, employee, or whatever. So let's come in here. There. So the first one is going to be student loan. Self. It's self-funded. And finally, I think the other one we can say employer funded. There. Right, let's repeat the same thing for the others. These are all the information for the student. The other one is going to be right here for the tutor. We have 5 combo boxes in there. Okay, so let's speed that up. And right there, those are the lines of code for the tutor's details. There. Okay, so if you take it from the top on the form initialize, these informations will be needed for the student, and from here down will be for the tutor and for the course. There. Now let's come in here and let's double click on that and take care of the exit. That's the exit taken care of. Okay, the other thing that we will do, maybe we just copy that very exit. I'm going to copy that. Let's go straight to the print. Double click on print, and inside the print I'm going to give the user an option to choose between printing the tutor's workbook, worksheet, or the student worksheet. So I'm going to call my variable iPrint. So that's it, iPrint. So if the user select, let's say, would you like to print, let's just say, student details, student report, okay, student report, that's fine, or details, let's say details, that's fine. So would you like to print student details? Okay, if the answer is yes, then we want it to print from the very first worksheet. So we'll change this to application dot dialog, then we'll say XL print. XL print setup is right here somewhere. There we go. Close that dot, show. Now I'm going to say this workbook dot sheet, and this very sheet that I'm referring to is going to be sheet number 1. So let's come in there and just enter sheet 1. Close that. Close this as well. Dot print. It's a print out a copy, and this very copy is going to be just 1 anyway. 1. There. That should be equals 1. There we go. Else, I'm going to copy this now. Else, we want to print on worksheet number 2. There we go. So let's get it indented. Indent, and indent. Change the worksheet to number 2. There we go. That's it. All taken care of. That's for the print. Now let's take care of the reset. Double click on the reset. The case of the reset, we're going to use, let's use a for loop for that, so that we can take care of all the, I'm going to first of all, let's say dim txt, and I'm also going to dim, let's say comma cbo. So I have 2 variables in there. So for the very first one, I'm going to say for each txt in me.controls, and if type of txt is ms-forms.text, then I want you to actually clear whatever we have inside txt.text equals clear. So clear whatever we have inside an object that is referred to as txt. So that's the very first one. I'm going to get it indented. Right. So we'll repeat exactly the same thing for the other one. So all we just need to do is, I'm going to copy all of these and change the text around. Copy. Or we need to actually get this one nested. Nest txt. There. Copy this. Every single combo box. Change this one to CBO. That's for combo box. Combo box. Combo box. And we also need to change the object. The object is combo box. Once you enter dot, that is your combo box right there. Pick that up. That's it. So combo box taken care of, and every single text box taken care of as well. Now let's take care of the last part of it, which is the most important one that this guy wants us to take care of. Double click on transfer data. Transfer data, that is it right there. In the case of the transfer data, I'm going to declare two variables. One is going to be for the tutor and the other one is going to be for the student. Let's say dim worksheet student. Let's say student there, comma, then another worksheet tutor as worksheet there. So that is taken care of. We also need to declare another variable. I'm going to call that dim add new student. So add new student, or let's just say add new student, comma, the other one is going to be add new, or shall we just say add tutor, right, and this one will become add student. Okay, that's good. Instead of add new, that's too long. Add student, add tutor as range, right. Then this variable here for student. Okay, and I want to assign to each variable which of the sheets belong to who. So I'm going to copy the student workbook there, and I'm going to say equals sheet number 1 there. So but here we need to enter set this variable as sheet number 1, and repeat exactly the same thing for the tutor. So for the tutor, we just, let's call this, come right down there, paste, and that's going to be tutor worksheet tutor, and that will be sheet number 2. There we go. Once that is done, we now need to specify the size of this worksheet. So you can make that up, I don't know, but I know the size is approximately, that I know of, approximately 65,356. That's what I know of those days. I don't know how big it is now. So I'm going to ask it to set student, add the student. In the case of the student, I'm going to make that, let's copy these here as well. Student equals worksheet student dot, we now want to add the range. So it's going to range from cell A to 65,356. Close that dot. So that's going to be end XL up, and we're going to get it, say, offsets, which means in this case go to the next line once data is entered in the very first one. Okay, now that that is done, I'm just going to copy that and change it for the tutor there. For the tutor, this is going to be tutor. Change everything here to tutor. Copy that. So that will be tutor, and that will be tutor as well. And that is it. I've already specified the sheet. Okay, now that that is taken care of, we now need to add the student details. Okay, add student details. Copy that, come right down here. There, add dot offset so that is going to be comma 0, close that very bracket, dot value, and this very value is going to be txt student id dot text. So that is my very first record added in there. For the student, I have in total 15, so I'm going to copy that and just change it around. Copy there. So all we then need to do is, the very first one is 0, the second one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, that's for the student, all taken care of. Now let's take care of tutor. Add tutor. Okay, come right down here, paste, and in the case of the add tutor, it's going to be exactly the same. Let's just copy all of this and change things around. Copy, paste, and the tutor, the very first one is going to be txt tutor dot text there. So we have 4 more records to go in there, or 4 more data, I mean, there. So as usual, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the second one here is going to be COB title, and followed by CBO, not COB, cost code. Yeah, that's correct. Then we have CBO here. Then finally we have CBO duration. CBO duration. There, I think I'm done. Now, all we then need to do is just to try it out. Alright, before I run it, so I just want you guys to have a good look at these lines of codes, because that is what the project is all about, this very one, so that we can save on multiple worksheets. So let's take it down. So have a good look at it from here. Bring it down. Here, those are the information for the student. You can see the variables, very important. This is for the student, and this is for tutor. And this is where I distinguish what goes where. Okay. And those are the lines of code anyway. Right here, that we add all the details straight into the student worksheet, and here that we add the details straight into the tutor's worksheet. And that's all there is to it. The rest are just to make up the whole program. Okay, so that's the reset. And right here we have the print. So I'm going to run it. Like I said, this is the most important one. So let's run and see. There. Now, student ID. But let me show you guys my worksheet before any other thing. That's my worksheet there. There's nothing on it. So let's close it so that you see it again properly. That's the worksheet. There's nothing. Okay. There's nothing right there. And there's nothing right here as well. So let's run it. Let's take it here and run. Let's go back to, yeah, come in here, run. Alright, enter student's registration number or student ID there, and the name of the student. Let's assume the name the student is Tony Montana, and address of Tony Montana, number 17, Little Venice. And postcode there. Telephone number and date. I'm just gonna enter maybe today's date and 2020. Let's enter proof of ID. I'm going to select passport. Degree is going to be first degree. Method of payment, that will be student loan, and let's enter in the reg number and here ULA number. Next of kin, let's say Mary Montana, and there that's going to be number 17 as well, Little Venice. There, and mobile number. There we go. Alright, that is that for the student. Now we need to enter the tutor's information. Who is the tutor? Let's say is Felix Townsend. Right. And the course happens to be computer science. Course code, that's the course code year. Let's go for 2020, 2021. And duration is going to be 36 weeks, which is 36 months, which is 3 years. Now all we need to do is to click on transfer data. Right here, that's my worksheet. There's nothing in there. Now let's transfer. Click on transfer. There we go. We've just transferred the student data right in there, and the tutor's data is there as well. So let's click on it again. Okay, I have 7 altogether now. If I close this, we should be able to see 7 records of the tutor in there. Close that. Let's open up my worksheet here and click on the sheet. That's it. That is the worksheet, and that is how you create multiple worksheets using Excel, or working on multiple worksheets in Excel. So I believe I've answered your request, and with that I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you enjoyed. You have a nice day, and bye for now.